All right, let's move on. So, Pete, this isn't really a huge story, but it is just one of those that should piss off all the right people. Yeah. And sometimes people say, why do you only talk about things that piss you off? I don't only talk about things that piss me off. We're about to give a multi-$1,000 gift of Nerf guns to a kid, so I think we do good where we can. But sometimes I'm a negative Nancy.
There's a lot that pisses us off.
Steven, you're such a negative Nancy.
It's not an invalid criticism. I accept it. So Pete Davidson was on SNL mocking, and keep in mind too, as they mock down in the United States, this is a perfect example of where things that shouldn't be political. Now, I'm not a centrist, and I've been very clear when people say this is it's not propaganda, because I let you know that I am to the right of center, in many ways to the right of Attila the Hun. Okay, just to be very clear, but. All of our sources from this show, they're available. If you click the link in the description, louderwithcrowder.com. I try to make it available for you so you can make your own decisions. I understand that people are in echo chambers. Okay. That being said, it's not political. Being anti-lockdown, the World Health Organization said that lockdowns don't work. That should be a last resort. Good example of this, when I was in Canada, I was in Quebec, where we had liberals and liberal separatists. The conservative wing of the Canadian political spectrum, a parliamentary system, which is broken. When people say two-party system, man, I go, you can have a prime minister elected with a minority of the vote. So trust me, it's not a flawless system, but it's better than what they have in old Europe and in Canada, with the Queen still on our money. They didn't have the housing crash in Canada. So even though they're all liberal and they have like a 50-something% tax rate, and you have socialized health care, and you have a 15% sales tax, when this was brought to the attention of Canadians, they said, we're gonna give people loans and mortgages with crazy low interest, and people who can't afford to pay it back. These are all the liberals in Canada. I said, why? That's retarded.
Why?
It's not political. They said no. Just like the World Health Organization said, no, you can't just do lockdowns because it's not political. But in the United States, it has been turned into, if you oppose lockdowns that end livelihoods forevermore, you must be a rube and an anti-vaxxer like a Chris Cuomo. Here is Pete Davidson, the only name I recognize at SNL, mocking his fellow countrymen.
I take it that you found these protests frustrating.
Yeah, man, they're making us look like babies. You know it's bad when even people in Boston are like, drink at home, you queers.
That's funny.
And do you think that people should stay at home until the pandemic gets better?
Yeah, everyone wants to go have fun, but there's plenty of stuff you could do at home. Like use your official Pete Davidson vibrator.
No. Sexual joke.
That's a little bit.
They get a little bit blue. By the way, just so you know, Pete Davidson still has a job, and he's being paid $15,000 an episode, which sounds like a lot, but I actually know that's SNL is hurting, because I know quite a few SNL cast members from back in the day of the Dennis Miller era, the Norm era, the Spade era, and they were starting at salaries higher than that. And Pete Davidson's been there for what, 5-6 years?
Yeah. He is one of the only recognizable names from the cast. So.
They can't procure the talent.
No. Well, and I'm surprised they allowed him to say the Q word. That's weird.
Which word?
We can't say it.
Queer.
No. It's in the LGBTQ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't, call people
he was
that.
making fun of it.
Oh, no, you can't.
You can drink at home.
No, you don't understand. He's half black. So the question, just like I can say it because I have a cousin who's gay. That's why I can say it. By the way, hit the notification bell if you are subscribed on YouTube, because subscriptions don't mean a whole lot. And we stream in the mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, weekdays.
So much streaming.
Yes, a lot of streaming. Frothy.
Stop it. Stop. I knew it.
And just go ahead.
I was just going to say, the question Colin Jost asked was, so you think people should stay home until the pandemic gets better? It is better.
Right.
Yeah, we're there. It's better than when? What is the standard? People, again, that
we
is
have
the
more
question.
Hospitalizations.
Maybe.
Than we did.
Stop! Everyone, stop! You've lost the plot. Sick people are going to hospitals.
I'm a teacher, Steven.
People are.
I'm a teacher. I have a cough. I'm a hero. And to add to the hypocrisy, by the way, SNL, this is something a lot of people don't know. We talked about this yesterday, where they banned outdoor dining, but then they had the craft services table.
Oh, jeez.
SNL used a lockdown loophole to get around the prohibitions on indoor gatherings so that they could film the show. Here's the thing. They were allowed to have an indoor audience.
Oh, right.
Really?
Because they paid the audience members as employees, which they kind of are, because they have to follow instructions. She would be a great crowd animator.
She
This
really
is
would.
this is like the reductio of well, yeah, of course. Oh, so now they're paying people to laugh.
They're paying
It's not just that they're holding
people
up signs
to
They have
laugh.
pay
Well,
them.
they tried asking them to laugh originally, and it just wasn't
That
working.
didn't work.
And
No,
so-
it did work. Think about it. When you're seeing SNL and you're seeing them bomb, that's with a crowd animator going,
and they have money in their pockets.
Yes.
From the show. That is insanity.
They've gone through a lot
Yeah.
of crowd animators. They
It's
seem
like
to
they're
drink
like
themselves
crowd
into an early
animators.
grave. So it's tough.
they go through crowd animators faster than Ben Shapiro goes through secretaries. Now, I don't mean anything untoward. I just mean that he has high standards.
There we go. Yes.
Right. Of course.
Listen,
We all know
look at
that.
the Excel sheet and the formatting sheet, and you're fired. That's always what happens. It's always the Excel
always
sheets.
Excel,
If you're going to
yes.
go work for Benjamin Shapiro,
Yes.
get
Been
your
there.
Excel, get your spreadsheets right. And this is just, again, when
tip.
people wonder how Donald Trump won both times, it's because of this elitism. It really is. You have a guy who is employed, and he can make it work through a loophole, and you
Yeah.
see this in California. And so now, let's go to a response from one of the actual citizens who suffer under these lockdowns, who don't make $15,000 an episode like Pete Davidson in the great city of, the city of New York.
Place.
The ignorance level is so high now that you have mega millionaires who are on the national spotlight, like the folks on Saturday Night Live. And instead of making fun of their friends and the local business owners who are broke and crushed and bankrupt, instead of coming down here as fellow Staten Islanders and standing up for them and bringing a positive
Where I
light to
break
this
their
thing,
thumbs.
what they want to do is go on national TV and try to humiliate the little man when he's down. And to me, that's quite disgusting. If you came out of your perch in your affluent neighborhood and came down here and told the liberal left this is a good thing because it's about our freedom and liberty, we probably wouldn't be standing here today talking about a political prisoner who was the victim of, in my view, a political ambush.
And by the way, only
Wow.
black people can say that. Mark Lamont Hill once said that all prisoners were political prisoners, and you
Yeah.
got into trouble for that because of this idea of mass incarceration. Take it up with Harris, sweetheart. You're
Yeah.
vice president elect. I say that facetiously.
Yeah.
This is. What I love, he's like, they're on their perch.
Yeah.
They're on their perch.
On their perch.
On their
Come
perch. They're
on.
so
Nah,
full of
come on.
shit, you can't read the newspaper under their perch. I look down. What's black, white, red all over and covered in your shit? It's you from your perch, Pete Davidson. That guy's like a caricature of a mobster.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really funny that he said that while he was doing the exact opposite of his advice. When they were like, "Oh, what can people do in this bad?" Well, they could stay home. There's plenty. Are you home?
You're not
Yeah.
home, sir.
You're out working. You're
Right.
here.
Yeah, this is the compassionate left.
Yeah,
this
the
is
compassionate
the
left.
guy who their vision of themselves as being very compassionate is because they don't actually talk to people who are hurting.
Yeah.
they're
Right.
just told who to feel bad for and who not to feel bad for. They pick and choose.
Or people who are employing. Where Schumer and
yeah.
Biden, now they're saying he might just, with a wave of a pen, $50,000 in student loans
good.
forgiven. Here's the thing. You are compassionate only to the lowest common denominator, the people
Yeah.
who took out loans for underwater basket weaving or Afro-lesbian-centric
important.
feminist studies. You know who's going to be mad about that? People who paid off their loans.
Yeah.
People who opted not to go to university, or go to a community college, or go to a trade school. Just like what they say, you know what, the rich should pay more in taxes. Listen, if Biden has his way with taxes, depending on the plan, you can take 2 or 3 salaries from this company, boom, cut it off the top. Because this is not a small business, mind you, according to the
Right.
Biden tax bracket course. It's once we're about 12 to 15 employees. I think we have some contractors. I think we have 14 employees. So we're just like Walt. We need to be treated like the Walton family.
wow, precisely.
Good night, economy. Good night, Sam. That's where we are. They're compassionate. They're compassionate to the zeros, to the non-contributors who think that it is empathetic for them to be able to stay home indefinitely while the people who keep our economy alive take it on the chin. Because I'm a teacher!
Exactly. Those are the people they're going to go after and help. The
I have
people
a
that are screeching.
I have a friend from church in Canada who's a teacher, and all he does is post on social media about, like, I had to clean my desks and I wasn't paid for overtime. And it's like, the horror. The horror. I thought you were doing it because you cared about the kids.
Oh,
All of a sudden, little Clorox is beyond your purview.
right.
Watch Good Morning Mug Club live every Monday through Thursday at 10:15 Eastern.